Good evening, everybody, and welcome. After a week off, I am back. I missed my first flight to Japan, but I'm glad to say I'm back this week for round number 6 of the SRL Project Cars 2 GT3 Asia Pacific League. Or should I be saying, Ohayo gozaimasu. Big thank you to everybody for joining us, and apologies for the wait. 23 minutes behind schedule. I do apologise. We've had some issues relating to an update. I've had some audio issues, some internet issues, and you name it, we've had it tonight. But thank you for everybody who stuck with us. And Mia, Adrian, everybody on the stream, great to have your company with us. Anthony, everybody, Kart Dude, let's get that famous hashtag trending, Kart Dude Nation. But in all seriousness, thanks everybody for joining us this evening. And boy, what a lineup we've got. 16 drivers, that's it. Speedway in Japan. And just recapping last week, Nige Guns in only his second race. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. His second race in the SRL Project Cars 2 League. He broke through for a hard-fought win at the Sportsland Sugo circuit, holding off our championship leader, Formula One Rocks, for the victory. And I can tell you what, just a quick update of tonight's format for everybody who's new to this stream and this championship. Great to have you with us. Welcome along. The format is a 1-hour practice session from 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, followed by 20 minutes of qualifying, which you will see very shortly, starting up shortly, and then a 20-lap race to start at 8:20 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And like I've said previously, we apologise as we are running a little bit late. Fuel and tyre wear is on, and the weather is light cloud for qualifying. Race 2 slots of random on sync to race. The default time is spring, or the default date, I should say, and the race time 6 p.m. And the time progression is ×2. Now, just recapping, we mentioned last week's results from Sugo, the first of the 2 Japanese rounds in this championship. And like I mentioned, it was Nige Guns winning just his second SRL race. What a fantastic effort from Formula One Rocks in second, Sub GT, Mr. Consistency in third. Kart Dude was fourth, V8 Man in fifth, disappointing for him. Fubbles in 6th, Righty in 7th, Hecker Kosh in 8th, 9th for Latex, and HSV, aka Dean McKinnon, sneaking in there for a point in his first race of the season. And that brings me to the Drivers' Championship, and what a tasty little championship we've had so far this season. And after 5 rounds completed, as we see the cars out on track for the first time, it is Formula One Rocks leading the championship by 12 points, 95 to 83 over V8 Man 51. Kart Dude 45 and Sub GT Racer. There is nothing between them. They are locked in third position on 63 points. Fubbles is on 40 points in 5th. Nige Guns in 6th following his win last week. Jason Wilkinson on 31 points. Our man who's joining us in the commentary box. And Tooley and the rest of them on your screen. Jason, finally, you've retired from racing. You're a family man now. Great to have you on board. And what do you think we're going to see tonight, my good man?
It's good to be here. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty crazy race. You've got that big, long straight. It's going to provide a lot of slipstreaming. Interestingly enough, we've got the simulation in this game is so in-depth that it's gone on the turbo cars, so your Ferrari, your McLaren, I think someone's running the Bentley. They're all going to be a little bit slower because of the altitude. So it's going to be different. You're going to have the Ferraris a little bit slower, which is pretty quick usually in a straight line. So it's going to bring these Audis even faster, which means it could be a good fight between those top 4 Audi drivers. You've got Formula One Rocks, V8 Man, Sub GT Racer, and Nige Guns, who won last week. We're having some connection issues here with HST, unfortunately, who was the one waiting on. But you see, Sub GT starting up a lap.
He looks good, doesn't he? Very important, like we say it each and every week, Jason, but you have to get a banker lap in the early part of qualifying, don't you? It just eases the pressure for later on in the session. You don't want to be setting times, do you, with all that pressure on you at the best of times, but if you can get that lap in early, it helps for later in the session.
Yeah, it definitely does. You would have seen on the streams last few weeks, I would try and get a lap in as early as you can, as you said, and then you can sort of work with your teammate, like Tully and myself were doing in Hong where he had a bit of slipstreaming just to give that extra bit of straight line speed, which obviously helped. I got second on the front row, but then hindered on the pretty much from the start, and then lapped corner 2 if I was the race over. But yeah, working with your teammate, if we actually have a look down at V8 Man and okay, no, never mind. I thought V8 Man and Formula 1 Rocks being teammates, that would be helping each other. Maybe the championship realise that so close to the championship they need to split up the track and start going their own way.
Well, I don't think we're going to see too much. I don't think there's going to be too much love lost between those two as we ride on board with the German, who we've been calling a Frenchman, and his name is pronounced Latex. Geez, don't these cars, these GT3 cars, look beautiful as the sun sets here at this beautiful circuit here in Fuji in Japan. I was about to say the site of the famous F1 Championship finale between James Hunt and Niki Lauda, of course, from the movie Rush, based on the 1976 season. The weather conditions are a little bit different from then, though, Jace. It's a place where we see a lot of rain, but a lot of almost, I guess you'd call them almost like a torrential downpour, but we haven't got that tonight. Light cloud, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, but nothing at the moment happening as we ride on board with Rob Dog. So some early...
the 39.9 to the on top there.
A 39.9 for Rob Dog.
Yep.
And,
really
well...
quick.
He's set the high water mark early, has Rob Dog, 1996. The other laps to be completed as we just about tick over 15 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Formula 1 rocks with a 140.172, and then there's a bit of a gap there. Nige 141 flat, and then Fubbles, Tooley, Sub GT Nemo, so they're just getting a bit of a feel for the track, riding on board that beautiful Ferrari of Fubbles 888. And it's a very technical circuit. You've had plenty of experience around here, Jason. And what do we got? 16 corners, some very high speeds, a highly technical section from that Dunlop corner from turns 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Very technical, that last part of the circuit.
Yeah, it is a very, very hard bit of track. The cars want to grip up. So you've got to really fight the car. You can see Fubbles here. This corner is a real pain. You can't get on the power too early because you run over that curve and that's your lap invalidated. So again here, this corner, you've got to really get in nice and early. Be prepared just on that right there at the end of that curve. If it rains, there's going to be a big puddle there. So quali, we've made it to be dry, and then the races, as you said before, it's going to be random weather. So knows what we're getting at the moment, so we'll find out. But if it's going to be wet, as you can see, this man is going to be very quick, as he was in Watkins Glen. Tooley, he loves the wet conditions. He races compact speed cars in real life. Well, this is real life, but his other disciplinary races is compact speed cars, so going sideways is a second nature to him.
Perfect timing there, Jace, talking about him going sideways, and indeed the commentators curse. Great to see it's working again this week as those two boys elect to go into the pit lane. 13 minutes remaining. Ooh, that is very, very close. Nothing but a coat of varnish in that one. A 139.510 compared to a 139.520. I tell you what, that literally is a kitten's whisker in that, as the great Richie Benno would say, as Rob Dog just showing us some of his drifting skills there. Coming out of the final corner, can he get it back facing the right way? Yes, he can. That Panasonic corner at turn 16 seems to have caught a couple of people out already, and me in the commentary box, as looks to be shuffling sideways there. But can he? What's he doing on the? He set a 142.6.
Yeah, so most drivers will be in the high 140s, and then just lost it there massively. I don't know what was going to go there.
Well,
Been straight. We'll leave him. Got a couple of drivers coming out of the pit, get Formula 1 rock. I'm sure he's going to absolutely smash this pole time, as he usually does. He actually hasn't done as much practice this week, same as the gate man. Those two are notorious for doing lots and lots of laps of practice. So it could actually shake up the order a little bit. And you see Tooley, who's done a lot of laps in practice, as he's on a lap at the moment. Yeah, so this game you need to be doing a lot of practice, which is the reason why I'm in the commentary box right now, because as we all remember from Hockenheim, I was very excited to get a nice little young husky pup, and he's already chewed through my wheels, so I can't race at the moment. So, yeah.
Well, the old excuse. Yep. That's it. I'm married with a child on the way, but I could have just got a puppy dog, couldn't I? But no, you're right. Practice makes perfect. There is no doubt about that as we ride on board with Tooley, currently our provisional pole sitter. But I don't know about you, Jason, but Formula 1 Rock's coming out of the pit lane. He just had that look in his eye. You mentioned he's a man who likes to put in plenty of laps around here, and he just had that look in his eye like, I'm going to get that pole position, and it's mine. Look at that as the cars come down this main straight, the sun setting here at the Fuji Speedway in Japan. As we see these cars, look at this, the Audi there of Formula 1 Rocks. I reckon, I'm not a betting man, but if I had a spare fiver, I reckon it'd be on him. As we take a look at that, look how close that gap is, first and second. I reckon we're going to see these times tumble, though, in the remaining 10 minutes. Half of this session gone.
It's going to be a low 39. Low 39. I reckon 39.1 I'm going to put in, and I reckon it'll be this close here.
39.1, our man Jason has called it early for pole position. 10 minutes gone in the session, 10 to go. As we look at this, up through the gears, third gear, fourth gear. We ride on board with Formula 1 Rocks here, coming across the start-finish straight. And let's just stick with this for everybody watching this stream across the start-finish straight. He's on a hot lap. Hopefully there's no traffic there ahead of him as the Ferrari steers. Getting out of the way nicely there through turn 1. Now turn 2.
This corner's very tricky. The back end likes to step out just on the exit. If you clip this curve,
very important.
He did work pretty well there, and then this corner is probably one of the hardest in the game. The hardest in the track, sorry. You got to get it turned in, but you can't get on the power too early because it's going to give you a lot of push understeer, which you can sort of see there. You have to delay on the throttle. Get it back down to second. You can hold it tight there, you can run wide, doesn't really matter, there's no real time difference. And here we go up to the technical, very technical section. Got to float right down to first gear, about 60 k's, then you got to power up the hill. So you run a little bit deep there. You wouldn't like that. He's a perfectionist, our good mate Formula 1 Rock. As you can see, on the track he always seems to just get every millisecond, every bit of track he can use it. He's an absolute gun when it comes to qualifying. He gets every bit of the car, gets out of it.
Well, he can hook up a good lap time. Here we go.
I fancy myself in quali, and he always just blows it away. So I've got a couple of P2s, but can't get that P1. But we'll see at Bathurst. I'm up with a return to Bathurst in the Enduro. Well, can't miss Bathurst.
This man.
What's the lap time going to be?
This man's looking for P1. He comes across the line. Can he get it? Has he improved his time? Up to P3, but still not good enough, unfortunately, at this stage. Not the end of the world for our man Formula 1 Rocks, but like you said, Jason, he's a perfectionist, and he'll be looking to go one better than that, or two better, I should say, to get that pole position. So less than 10 minutes remaining in this qualifying session as the sun sets. We're still riding on board with Formula 1 Rocks in the Audi, and have a look at that.
He's going to improve. With these GT3 cars, it's always the second half you're going to get a lot more speed out of it once the tyres get up to temp, because the tyres are very sensitive to warm up and brake. Got to get the brake temps up and everything. So you might get held up here, but I think it might be Righty maybe, or it's probably Rob Dog. But if they're on a lap, you can't do anything about it. Which you can see is going to get held up massively here. So that could be his lap done.
I reckon this might be it for Formula One Rocks, because despite trying to get out of the way there, that is possibly the worst place on the track to catch some slow traffic, and now he looks...
Invalid lap there.
He seems to have gone off the track there, so this is going to affect his final run. He may have time. No, he's gone straight back to the garage there. As we head back now, riding on board with the BMW of Rob Dog. So... just recapping, Tooley still on provisional pole position, V8 man in second, those top three Formula One Rocks. And Rob Dog again, well, we've seen him lose the back end a couple of times. Now here's V8 man. Now where's he? He's currently in P2.
Six. Between those top three, under 1/10 of a second.
There's not much in it. You mentioned Jace.
Pulled it out of the bag at the moment, so we'll see if you can...
you've got to get every...
going on lap by the looks of it.
You've got to get every single thing right, and there he is, HSV, just in his second race. Look at that beautiful metallic silver Porsche. I tell you what, I'll be catching up the beers. Will be on him at the Grand Prix in a couple of weeks. For anyone going, I will be too. So will you, Jason. So we'll have to catch up and have a frothy. Drink responsibly for everyone out there. Great to... we've got to mention our viewers as well, Jason, while we're at it. Technical Mohit says, hello. Great to have your company. Mia, one of our long-time beloved regular viewers to this stream. Like I said, apologies for last week, but just to recap, I was away fighting bushfires, Jason, and just being a general hero in virtual reality in real life.
Hero,
I could kiss away the pain. Now, Jason, I'm just going to have to stop you there, because once you start singing something, I have to join in with you, and... the comments after I've sung a few... I've sung a few...
Nemo's going on. We might have a chat to him. We've got lucky enough to have Nemo in the on the radio here, so whenever we need to have a chat, we can jump on him. He's on a lap at the moment, so we'll see if he can get him to talk. Have to wait for a straight, most likely. He flashed the lights, and maybe on a lap.
Well, I reckon our man Nemo will be looking to concentrate. That car is not only not upside down, but it seems to be pointing in the right direction. Oh! Oh my goodness me!
He just destroyed V8 man. I know, might have been Formula One Rocks. Yeah, Formula One Rocks.
Well, I tell you what. Are we watching Project Cars 2 or UFC? I do not know, because that got a little bit feisty there between those two. But Cart Dude now, who... well, I tell you what, with 4.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, needs to do something. Everybody's favourite Tasmanian, he needs to step up, and his championship chances, I tell you what, he's 32 points off the championship leader. He's currently sitting in P3 in the championship, our winner in Daytona a couple of weeks ago, as we ride on board with him now through the early part of the lap. Very technical section, looking good as he comes through here.
Get down the third gear. Get down the third gear. No, he left it.
No, he's left it. Left it in the higher gear there as the car off to the right. Tooley, here he comes. I reckon he might like this lap. All jokes aside.
He's been struggling a bit with the Ferrari. Since the late update, the Ferrari's got a bit of a nerve. So it's a little bit slow on a straight line now. It's probably one of the slowest.
And here we go.
And it's a lot less rear grip now. So if you see him getting a little bit sideways, which he sort of looks like he's here, yep, he's about to pull out there.
No, that's it.
Unfortunately, you can see he's revving that poor old engine.
Well, big hello to our man Aaron Clover. Oh, Tooley, he's set a 1:39.411. I tell you what, you're pretty close, Jace, to your guess for the pole position time. Quick mention to Aaron Clover. Great lap, V8 man. Let's see some more good laps in the race. Azza, great to have your company. Big V8 man fan. And
yes, we'll be seeing him at the Grand Prix as well. He's one of V8 man's good mates. I've met him a couple of times. He's a decent bloke. He's about 7 foot tall and got a nice lock of hair he's got going.
I tell you what,
catch up for a beer.
He's a nice man. There's not many of us left, Jace. I've got to say, but no, it'll be good. It'll be good to meet him at the Grand Prix in a couple of weeks. Anyway, have a look at this. Tooley He's been relegated. Look at that, Rob Dog, a 139 flat.
Hello.
Wow, I tell you what, we must have missed that.
Just goes faster as well. We'll be in second.
I've just gone faster.
No, and while I was rambling on about my Grand Prix weekend coming up in a couple of weeks' time, Rob Dog just pulled a absolutely magnificent lap, as Bruce McAvaney would say, a 139.080, and delicious. Oh dear, don't get me started on the impersonations, Jason. Tell you what, your Hawks are going to look good this year, I have to say. Anyway, enough about that. So, football season is back to racing here, as well. Not just over a minute remaining in this qualifying session, and if I didn't know any better, I reckon these two are looking to get some streaming action, slip streaming. Not our stream, of course, as we come through. But look at that.
Teammates, which is I don't know, it might be it's either Nige Guns or Sub GT, but no, you can see Jono, former Knoxler, is getting a little bit held up here, unfortunately. So he might back it off. He's going to have enough time. He has enough fuel. And who was that? Is that Sub GT? Yes, it is. Yep. He's probably one of the cleanest drivers. Cleanest drivers on the grid, as you would have seen from the Daytona battle myself and him had. So he's going to go to the pit by the looks of it.
I reckon he's going to go to the pit lane, as we might ride on board with this, Jace, I reckon, because there's not much time remaining in this session. We're going to ride on board with Formula One Rocks now, who's just 9 thousandths of a second off pole position. And it's a lap that you said, Jace, you've got to get every single aspect of this race right. And I tell you what, look at him go. Here we go. He's gone through turn 1, coming up to turn 3, the Coca-Cola turn. Is it there, Jace, as he comes through there looking to hit the apex?
Now at the 100R.
The 100R, not the 130R. That's Suzuka. Look at that, the beautiful Mount Fuji in the background here, the backdrop for hopefully Formula One Rocks. Can he get pole position in this race? There's not much in it at all. It's very, very close here tonight.
This is a 300R here. A little bit not really the corner for a dessert corner, but we're down the Dunlop corner.
So we come through this little Mickey Mouse section here, don't we? It's turns 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16, and this is vital to get your lap time right. And of course I failed to mention that if you want to get amongst this action, don't forget to visit allthews.supremeracingleague.com and head on over to the Project Cars 2 GT3 League forum and sign up if you want to join some of this action. A couple of rounds to go after this one, of course, as here we go. Formula One Rocks. Qualifying is complete. Can he improve? Currently in P2. He comes across the line. Is he going to do it?
Oh, I don't know what's going on. The timing's stuffed up at the end there, but
I reckon if we just move the screen up.
No, we can't. It's stuck. I'll get my teammate Tuli to send the results, and
well, there we go. Look at
that.
That's the final qualifying results here from the Fuji Speedway and round 6 of this championship. It's going to be Rob Dog starting from P1, Formula One Rocks in P2, Tuli alongside him in P3. V8 Man completes the second row of the grid. Then Fubbles on row 3. Sub GT Racer with a 140 flat. He'll be disappointed with that. Grunting Tortoise out of the commentary box onto the track for P7. Latex in P8. Nemo in P9. Our Kiwi man, and as we head down the order there, Heka Kosh in P10.
We've actually got a glitch at the moment. We can't, the game's frozen, so we're going to have to unfortunately restart level. We had this last week.
That doesn't sound like the PSN network or Project Cars 2 to me at all, Jason. This is something unheard of.
What we're going to have to do is to see the grid. And we're going to have a little commercial break here while we get everyone sorted. So maybe everyone can send some question in. Nemo, you can talk about your lap you did there. How was the setup and all that stuff?
Commentators curse and I hit.
Yeah, I tell you what. Well, look, what we might do is here. You mentioned a commercial break. We'll get some questions in on the stream for everybody out there watching. Mia, Aaron, Technical Mohit, What a name that is. Anthony, GT Tortoise, all the regulars. Get your questions in. I will keep talking as long as I have to before we can get this thing started. Because stick with it, because have a look at that.
Wait.
Oh, here we go. We've got an update, Jason.
Yes, oh no, it's going to be a pain. Because the only way to get out of this screen is to close the application and reboot it, but if we do that, it might make us do the update, which could be catastrophic. Oh no, if it's the PlayStation update, it should only be...
I'm going to risk it.
Try it, yeah. Well, we can't really do it anyway. If it's the PlayStation update... Okay, cool. Okay, let's try it then. Let's try it. I think it's if you turn off the PlayStation, turn it back on. You
might be in serious trouble. Mia says, amazing lap from GT. You're a beautiful man. I'll tell you what, Mia.
All over him, man.
She was all over our man Nemo like a cheap suit. And earlier in the championship, and Nemo said, just to go easy there, Mia. But anyway, she's on the GT Tortoise train at the moment. And
just watch out, he might cheat on you because he's a lying bastard.
And we might just... I don't think we've got a 7-second delay on the stream here tonight. But anyway, apologies for that rather colourful language there. Nemo not happy with his 141.7 in P9 on the grid.
I'm so sorry.
And, well, you ought to be sorry because... well, definitely sounding a little bit salty there. GT saying, Jason, I did leave the game before and I was fine, so maybe the dreaded update
all good.
might not be a problem here tonight as we are waiting. Just to recap the grid for you, everybody out there watching, Rob Dog taking pole position with a 139.080, just 9 thousandths of a second ahead of Formula One Rocks, our championship leader. Not bad for him, though, because his main championship rival is down in P4, but they're going to be right behind each other on that starting grid, aren't they? Rows 1 and 2. Oh, yes. And that could get a little bit spicy.
A big dive bomb by someone too, because there's a corner that tightens up on the exit, so there might be a bit of chaos. But Rob Dog, unfortunately, had pole last week and was leading most of the race, but made a couple of mistakes, spun a couple of times, as you saw in quali, made a couple of mistakes there. And he actually ran out of fuel in the last lap, which means he got a DNF, so hopefully he's put some fuel in.
Can I just say something? Your singing was amazing. Like, it's going through the twisty bits, and I just started laughing. Like, I'll pay to see you guys in concert.
Yes, well, if you thought... if you thought that was...
the grid again, because there was a glitch with the grid on the thing, so I'll just send it to you so you can read them out.
Okay, not a problem at all. Here we go. So we're going to have a look at the final qualifying results. Thanks very much to my co-commentator Jason for sending that through, or the rest of the grid I should say. It is Nige Guns in 6th, Fubbles in 7th, Sub GT Racer in 8th, Grunting Tortoise 9th. From what I can see here on my screen. Yep, HSV, Latex, Nemo, Hecker, Kosh, Ridey and Andy in P15 to complete the grid there. And I tell you what, very confusing stuff, but stick with us on the stream. It might be a late one. I tell you what, anybody in New Zealand or anybody anywhere really is just going to have to get a couple of matchsticks so you can keep your eyes open. Maybe we could do some Japanese lessons. Arigato gozaimasu. Ohayo konbanwa. And wax on, wax off. As our...
everyone in the order that they've qualified, so this is going to take a little bit longer, but...
Well, we need to harness, I tell you what, Jason, everyone out there watching now, we have 9 viewers at the moment watching the stream. We cracked the big 10-0, the big 1-0 earlier on, and I just want to assure everybody out there that you need to harness the Mr. Miyagi Chi. I want you to close your eyes and wax on and wax off, and we will be getting underway shortly here. As the other invites have come through. I'm not sure, do I need to accept that, Jason, or what's happening with that? I certainly will do that at the moment. And just bear with us. The screen probably has gone a little bit blank there as Jason inviting us We'll be back with you shortly, as you're probably seeing the Project Cars 2 logo on your screen now. And Nemo saying thanks for support. Robbie Pearson, go Rob Dog, go Rob Dog. He's very excited for Rob Dog. Robbie Pearson, go Rob Dog. Just a shameless self-promotion from our man Rob Dog, who's just getting... Well, I tell you what, he's just getting a little bit ahead of himself there, Rob Dog. But let me tell you, what a lap from him in qualifying. And hopefully we're going to wish him all the best for the race. But fantastic league this, Jason. We cannot stress this enough, where the numbers are going bananas. Everybody loves your voice, my voice. Or maybe they're a little bit sick of my voice. I know they love our singing. From Kylie Minogue to Enrique Iglesias. I could kiss away the pain. Oh yeah.
What we might actually do is we might get
you. Sorry about that, Jason. I beg your pardon, everybody out there.
We might grab Kart Dude in the party just for a sec while
we might.
Sorting everyone
Yep.
out.
Or I could sing a little bit of Frank Sinatra. Anyway. Now,
Kart Dude, how you going?
G'day guys. Thanks for having me.
And let's just hope that voice of yours can be shared there, Kart Dude, because we've had issues with you in the past. So get your bloody self sorted out, would you?
Good.
I believe I've set it to always allow at the moment, so I should be able to be heard on YouTube loud and clear.
Come on,
what an exciting qualifying session we just had.
Yes. I had you join in a bit late because you had some problems, but...
Just, yeah, we had some technical
Tully,
issues with the,
if you're,
Ferrari.
Tully, if you're listening, you can join that lobby now.
But not to worry, at Forza Kart Racing, we, were able to fix it, and we got it out there with 15 minutes to go, but, just went quick enough today.
Well, I'll tell you what...
It's impressive.
Sorry to butt in there, Kart Dude, but Jason, I may need to take a little commentary break, a little commercial break, I should say, of my own, and I'll be back shortly. But stick with us there on the stream. We will be back shortly, and just talk amongst yourselves, there, fellas.
How's your new setup start? We can hear my car set off in the background. I apologise for that. So I was saying how the Ferrari's got a big nerf on the game, so how did it feel?
Just want to explain it to the viewers. Since the latest patch, they've quite drastically changed the tyre model on all the cars, and at Forza Kart Racing, we just haven't been able to get the setup quite right, and we've really been struggling to get the soft tyres to last the whole race. But I think we've made some progress with our.
Did you join the lobby too, by the way?
Yes, I have. With our engineer / retired racer Jason Wilkinson helping with the setups. I've made some gains for this race, and I look forward to the race.
Yes. What about you, Nemo? How did your car feel? Did it feel better than what you had before, like half hour before the race?
Yeah, man. Like honestly, I feel like I can push the car into corners now without getting scared about losing the back end. But yeah, apart from that. That's going alright, Actually, Kart Dude, you sort of got into my way during qualifying.
Alright, save it for the steward's room, fellas. I'll tell you what, look at these comments coming in on this stream here, Jace. Mia and Jarvid getting very friendly there. Jarvid saying, you can be my hero, baby, and Mia saying, hey. So, looks like the singing is not only making people happy, but it's bringing people together. Big hello to you, Jarvid. Not Jarvid, me and Dad, the famous Pakistan cricketer. Anyway, enough about that, enough about my my cricketing knowledge.
We can talk about cricket if we want.
We certainly can. Big hello, Jarvid, from the UK. Where it's looking a little bit snowy over there. Don't worry, because you can get nice and friendly and nice and warm on this stream. Thule, what tyres are you on, bruz? From Mia, who's back on the Thule train.
Will be on the soft tyres.
Soft tyres for this race. Black caps.
That latest update, the the tyre model now, the soft tyres work. Where the first 3 rounds, they didn't work at all. So when the track's under 32 degrees, which it is here, it's about 20 degrees at Fuji. The soft tyres work wonders. I'm just gonna wait for Sub GT to join because he's it's slow, so he's gonna be at the back of the grid unfortunately if he doesn't hurry up.
So 32 degrees. We're just waiting for everybody to join back into this session. We do apologise, but don't blame us. Blame the people at PlayStation.
Uh-oh.
And
dog walking around now.
And well, old Simba, is it? What's his name? Simba.
Yeah, Simba.
Simba's just up and about there in the Jason Wilkinson household.
A little bit of beef in the chat at the moment.
Getting a little bit solid, you might say, in the chat there. Jarvid and Mia. Jarvid, of course, joining us from the UK. Aaron, Robbie, everybody's on there tonight. Technical Mohit. It's just joining us as well. Fantastic stuff. Here we go. 13 out of 18. And you mentioned 32 degrees before, Jason, for the tyres. I reckon 32 degrees is probably my cut-off point for beer. And indeed, enjoying a frosty cold one like we will be at the Grand Prix in a couple of weeks' time. Just kidding, I'm not a raging alcoholic as we are still waiting. Patience is required. Everybody getting sick of the sound of my voice, but look at that, they're all joining. No one's disconnecting. I like it hot and sticky and fresh, says Mia. Thank goodness we've just ticked over to 9 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time because I don't think we could sort of have these sort of discussions. It's getting rather hot and sticky and not so fresh in this commentary box of mine. It's been 180 degrees in here.
I'm gonna leave this. Party fellas. Is there any last-minute questions before the race?
How do you think you're gonna go?
Good luck, mate.
Starting P5.
Thanks, mate. I'm just gonna keep a clean start, and hopefully I can pick off a few and get a podium. Just need to keep it consistent. I think the championship's a bit out of reach now because I'm a round behind. But anything can happen in SRL, and anything's happened so far. I believe we've had 4 different winners so far.
Yes, I can tell you one thing. I can tell you one thing, Cart Dude, before you leave, just sounding like the great Murray Walker there. Anything can happen in Project Cars Racing, and it usually does. Yes, so anyway, Cart Dude, thanks for joining us, and all the best for the race
No worries, guys.
tonight. Robbie there. Yep, we've said goodbye to you, Cart Dude, now. Swarty. Yep, there we go. Swarty's left the party. Tyres aren't the problem. Losing concentration and having a spin is the main problem, says Robbie. But, wow, we love you, Nemo.
We love you, Nemo.
And not many people out there who don't love this bloody man. As we are ready to go racing here, Jace. I reckon we're nearly there.
Looking at the comments here.
Yeah, we're all good now.
Finally, we're going to crack the 100 comments mark soon, the way we're going, I reckon. This is unbelievable. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. It's time. Get ready to go racing. Well, I tell you what. The worst thing, except I guess having all these updates and disconnections, is creating a large pitcher of iced tea, and consuming half of it straight away before qualifying's even finished, because you do have to have a few commercial breaks. As look at that, the beautiful Mount Fuji there in the background. Great to be back too this week. Like I said, I missed last week. And a little bit emotional this week as well because I'm not using my favourite headset. We had some audio issues in the Kidbyers camp earlier on this evening. But, well, I tell you what, it's taking nothing away from tonight's stream and tonight's spectacle because we have unprecedented views, Jason Wilkinson. Everybody's bloody joined us right across the world from the UK, Australia, New Zealand. And it is, tell you what, 100 comments. Get everybody, tell you what, if you want to do me a favour and just click on that monetary symbol down there next to that emoji symbol and make a donation. I want to see if that works. Here we go. Anyway, enough about that. The starting grid, 20 laps here at the Fuji Speedway. Rob Dog is on pole position ahead of Formula One Rocks. There we go. What's he thinking? What's going through his mind at the moment? As we look inside the beautiful
we got
cockpit.
Rob Dog on first, and Formula One Rocks is in second, but third on the grid, unfortunately.
Yes, so
the game,
well, I tell you what, these Japanese marshals, who's paying them? You have to. We're going to have to dock the bloody yen, I think, there, Jason, because there's an invisible car in P2. In fact, nobody's in P2. As we head through the starting grid, Nemo there, Latex. our German friend,
Okay,
sub
get up,
GT racer, right down the grid, not where he would want to be. Rob Dog, Formula One Rocks, Thule V8 Man, Kart Dude, Nige Guns, last week's winner down in P6 on the third row of the grid. Fubbles in 7th, Grunting Tortoise in 8th. The former commentator here for this GT3 League. HSV just in his second race. Great to have you with us as well. Heka Kosh and the rest of them on your screen as we take the cinematic wide view at the beautiful Fuji Speedway. 20 laps here at this famous Japanese circuit. And we are almost ready to go racing. Look at that, the cars, these beautiful GT3 cars looking beautiful on the starting grid. And Jason, the countdown is on.
Yeah, so we just gotta wait. There's a 2-minute countdown just so all the drivers can make sure the fuel's all ready. And here we go. So we're gonna have lights on in a sec. We might just jump on so we can see the lights. We're going here.
Here we go.
3 lights. There you go. Here we go.
Lights are on. Lights are off. Green lights, and away we go.
Start.
Oh, there's a jump start there.
Got a jump start. That's
Nige
at Hockenheim.
up to second. Look at this. Here we go. Half a dozen cars. 4 wide. Somebody off at the back. Nige Guns in the lead. There's contact. Rob Dog gets through turn 1. Cars flying everywhere. There's I tell you what, turn 1. It looked like Kart Dude. And another Ferrari there as we head through turns 1, 2 and 3. It's Rob Dog leading from V8 Man. Nige Guns getting a jump start up in P3. HSV. Well, cars flying everywhere. Absolute chaos, as you mentioned there, Jason. But HSV there, he was up to 4th. Heka Kosh, and that's Kart Dude as well. And bang! Oh, well. My goodness gracious me, it looks a bit like a Daniel Kvyat Pasta Maldonado invitational event here. But, oh, look at this, 3 wide. Here we go, Nemo.
Oh, God. And after all that, V8 Man's up to second. Nige Guns has got a penalty. I'm guessing you have a 20-second penalty like I had. Oh, there's Righty off there.
And Righty, I tell you what, you've got to be very careful there. Sun just coming off.
The weather is a bit hazy, or maybe a little cold or something.
Well, it's a bit of a. It's a bit of. Oh, I tell you what, Righty there. Let's have a look at this track map. Look at that. How close are they? Through to complete lap 1. We've got Rob Dog coming through turn 16, the Panasonic corner. And here's our leader after lap 1 out of 20 here at the Fuji Speedway. And this GT3 Asia Pacific Championship. Our man Rob Dog is 6/10 ahead of V8 Man in second. Nemo, focus on keeping it on the black stuff there. As, well, he's way down. I'm not sure what's happening there anyway. So it's V8 Man in second. Nige Guns in third. Formula One Rocks, our championship leader in P4. Look at that V8 Man getting very busy there. Oh, I tell you what, this is close. Just 2/10 between them, first and second, both on your screen as we speak. Nige Guns there, currently in P3. Nige Guns saying to the first 2, I'm here, let's go and play, Jason Wilkinson.
Yeah, you can see, unfortunately, got a couple of big names out the back here. Kart Dude, Sub GT, and Thule. All starting up on the grid side Sub GT, but HSV and that it all up there. And you see it's all this. It's very scrappy racing this first lap.
Well, I tell you what, they will have to get their heads down, their bums up, and start what can only be described as an epic comeback drive. And, well, I don't know about you, Jason, but I'm excited because the field's mixed up. It's looking a little bit hazy. The conditions, they don't look that great out there at the moment. But look at this Kart Dude there making a move on somebody up to P9. I think the move was on Righty, so he's up to P9. Womp is ahead of him in the Porsche, and ahead of him is Grunting Tortoise, who's not in the commentary box this week. He's back out on the track in his famous Renault car. Is Kart Dude down the inside? Can he make this move stick? It's going to give Womp the inside line for the next corner. Can Kart Dude hang it around the outside? I think he might be able to there. Stop messaging me. Whoever's messaging me, stop it. Here we go. So Kart Dude down the main straight. Does he get the job done? Yes, he does. And he's currently up into P8, but I reckon Womp's going to have a go at him as we ride on board with V8 Man now. Where's he in the scheme of things? Nige up to second, but he's got that penalty, Jason, which could affect him later on in this race.
Yeah, so you see it's a pretty good slipstream battle down here. On going to Nige having a look. He's going to want to pull that gap. Otherwise, he's going to be finishing right down the field. At the moment, he would finish in 12th as he spins, unfortunately.
Well,
Just going
Nige.
30, yeah, taking the aero wash and he's around.
That is,
Formula
well,
Rocks here.
Formula One Rocks now quietly working his way up the order. And that mistake from Nige is, it just looks like there's no grip out there tonight, Jace, on this Fuji track. But tell you what,
very sensitive. You take a bit of track temp out. I don't know what the track temp is at the moment. Probably going to be around 12 to 15 degrees by the looks of it. Just going off the foggy nature of it. And yeah, it's very hard to control the car. You saw a lot of those drivers making, one person that makes a mistake, and in that close proximity at turn 1, it just causes a massive pile up and it shakes up the grid. You can see Cartude's gone from 12 all the way up to 8 at the moment. All on Rocks is just disconnected, unfortunately. So Latex, okay, I think we've got a big connection issue here. We've just had 3 people drop out.
well,
Philly
this
dropped out, Latex, and Formula One Rocks. So
is not looking good at all. For anyone who's just joined this broadcast, Jason, here we go. And you can see there on your screen a 20-second penalty for Nige Guns, so he'll be looking to get out in some clear air and sneak away if he can. So Rob Dog, it is in P1, 1.3 seconds now ahead of V8 Man in second, riding on board with Cartude on the comeback trail. Let's get the hashtag trending.
Tortoise here.
Oh, up behind Tortoise.
Make a move. Tortoise braking a little bit early here. Cartude just had a lot more speed.
And
these two. Tortoise likes to lock a bit, and Cartude's going to want to get through. So let's see if we can get him through into the hairpin. Up the end, a couple of corners from here. If not, then Dunlop corner would be. This is going to get them here.
This is the closest battle we've got on track at the moment, and look at that, Jason, you mentioned it. Oh, grunting Tortoise! And there's contact again. Cartude going up the backside there, and all of that hard work that he did in the opening 4 laps of this race has been undone. Grunting Tortoise saying, you are not getting through there.
Brake test.
And, well, Nemo, Jason, all saying brake test as we ride on board with Nemo, our man. You heard the dulcet tones of Nemo just before. Where the bloody hell's Nemo on this in this pecking order here? He's, well, don't tell me, Jason, I think he's off the list, but...
He's in P5 at the moment for me.
He's in P5 for me too, yep, of course. Yep, that's why I wear glasses. Should have gone to Specsavers, couldn't see that. Anyway, here he comes.
In a battle with him at the moment, he's a bit by himself. We've got a big group behind him. You can see Tortoise, Womp, and then Cartude, and HSV's just past Cartude too. So Cartude's had a pretty shocking lap.
So
But
HSV
I'm sure
there.
You should be able to see the slipstream here.
Look at this. Here we go. They are side by side. Look at this. HSV just has his nose in front.
Watching duck back in for the slipstream.
In the
there you go.
Porsche Cartude now coming across the start-finish line into lap 5. Cartude, this battle. Oh, the Porsche they're pulling away. No, Cartude.
Clean driver. Oh, hang on.
The infamous.
Have a bit of sneaky move then.
Well, the infamous commentator's curse, and I'll tell you one thing: Womp is an endangered species there in that Porsche further ahead. And I'm just getting that a message that the internet connection. Oh, dude, he's gonna start slipping off this track real soon. Anyway, enough about that.
So we're going to have some pit stops, probably not straight away, and once the good little, what's it for? Be able to tell when it is starting to rain is when the wipers turn on. The game, some cars who don't, or some drivers who don't have a wiper button, it's automatic, so you'll see the wipers switch on, and if that does, you're going to see pit stops pretty much straight away.
So lap 5 out of 20. Just recapping the standings at the moment. It's Rob Dog in P1, V8 Man in P2, and then Nige Guns in P3, Fubbles 4th, Nemo 5th, Grunting Tortoise in 6th, and then that battle. Look at that battle. Just 1-2 seconds between 7th, 8th, and 9th. As we ride on board now with Womp, and I tell you what, I reckon those drops are getting heavier. As here we go, HSV now. Can he get the job done down the main straight?
That Ferrari's in a straight line, which is impacting the Cartude.
And
quite a shame because he's a very good
HSV.
driver, but can't do much with the slow car.
up to
You
P8.
see Fernando Alonso. He loves the.
GP2.
I'm sure Car2 to be on the radio to his team saying, "What is this engine?"
GP2 engine. GP2. Ah! Yes, Kart Dude. Just a bit of. Oh, wait, we've got some team radio for Kart Dude, have we? It handles like a pig. You cannot say that it's a Ferrari. Oh, I reckon Kart Dude's getting a little bit salty in that helmet of his. We all know he is Tasmanian. And no public holiday for Tasmania tomorrow. I think there is every time he manages to win. He won in Daytona. Oh, I tell you what, there's contact there. And that could be a penalty for him, Jace.
Yeah, sometimes you get a slow penalty, he's got to sort of give the time back he just gained, which I think it's HSV just got a faster car in a straight line, so maybe he didn't actually get one.
So let's see if... Can Kart Dude catch up here? He's losing out time. Aaron's saying, yes, V8 man, keep it up. He's currently in P2, your man Aaron. But let's have a look at this battle. Here we go.
Still just over a second, so nothing really happening there. So watch this battle while we have it.
Oh, I tell you what, Kart Dude and HSV. HSV, he's slippery in a straight line. So that engine, that Porsche engine, outdoing the Ferrari on the straight as somebody's off to the left there. I think it might be Nemo. As that battle, I reckon, Jace, if we can get back to that, it's going to be very close yet again between those two. You can see them further up ahead there. As well, we've got some pit stop action. Here we go. That rain must be starting to affect the drivers as Fubbles is into the pits and HSV as well. So this rain now is going to make it very interesting. 6 laps gone out of 20, so 14 laps to go. And look at that, everybody is out to change onto the wet compound tyre. It's going to be interesting to see what the lead pack will do, but HSV is in the Porsche as they magically change those tyres. Is he going to get out soon? I reckon we don't want him to lose too many positions there as the Ferrari goes past. And they're holding him up for a while, but I guess it's got to be, you don't want to have an unsafe release, do you, Jason, in this scenario?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's got a bit on here. He just sort of left there, sorry, that's my bad. There's long pit lanes, you're going to lose a lot of time pitting here, unfortunately.
So
He's got the same thing.
Yep, so plenty of time getting lost.
Jumping. Yeah, he's jumped to Car2. Car2's probably going to be sending a message or something, maybe.
And this is going to mix up the order as we see HSV finally back out on track in P8.
Look how wet it is now.
Have a look at this. Rob is in the pit lane. V8 man following him in down to 50 kilometres an hour in this the pit lane speed limit here at Fuji. I tell you what, if this rain gets any heavier, shades of the 1976 Formula 1 World Championship decider between Niki Lauda and James Hunt. All three are in. Here we go. Dry tyres come off. Wet tyres come on.
Sorry, I'm just flicking through.
Flicking through now.
Let's see who's going to get out first. So there goes Rob Dog, so he'll be going. Oh, maybe.
Rob Dog, can he hold?
Nigel, Rob Dog's got to put in a lot of fuel because now V8 Man's in the lead.
Well, they've swapped as the positions, as we wait for these positions to update on our timing screens at the moment. But this is, it has actually, hasn't it? In fact, mixed up the order as Womp comes in as well. So they're all pitting now, and
this is the first pit guys who pitted on that last lap. You see the gap is pretty big. So the V8 Man's in the box seat at the moment. You've got a guy behind him, he's got a 20-second penalty, and then Rob, who's about maybe 5 or 6 seconds down there. He lost a lot of time in that pit stop.
Well, I tell you what, V8 Man, as we ride with V8 Man now, out on the wet compound of tyre, he's jumped Rob. And that rain is getting heavier, and I tell you one thing, he's 12 points, not 12, what am I talking about? He's second in the World Drivers' Championship, 12 points behind Formula 1 Rocks, and the last race in Sugo was the first race of the season, Jason, that he didn't finish on the podium.
Yes, he had a pretty shocking session there, or shocking weekend I should say. He had qualied down in 12th place, I think he was. Oops, sorry, my bad. And he actually got held up by Tortoise on his quali lap, which, yeah, that's why he didn't have a good quali. And then in the race he had a pretty intense battle with Fubbles for P8, I think it was, and then he ended up getting back up to P5 with Rob Dog having his problem with the fuel. So you can see these two. I think if I was V8 man right now, I'd probably just let Nige go because he's got a 20-second penalty. I'm not sure if he knows that, but you don't want to really get in a battle and sort of slow down because you're going to see Rob's going to, he must have made a mistake, but...
Well, of course, you reckon he would know that because, well, the field, I reckon that round of pit stops due to this wet weather, and I have a look at that, look at the spray. Nige Guns then in P2, and, well, V8 Man's through ahead of him. Was he right on board? Look at that, a first-person perspective.
No wipers on, maybe he's got a wiper problem.
And, yeah, it's all... Well, I tell you what, you mentioned, Jace, as the conditions now are absolutely atrocious. Did somebody say Watkins, Glenn? We mentioned in qualifying that when it does, and when it rains around here, let me tell you, it's a bit like Sepang in Malaysia. Boy, does it rain. Does it rain, it pours. And you mentioned those puddles and standing water around the last part of the track, Jason. They can be very, very deadly, can't they?
Oh, yeah, in these cars, if you touch even the smallest puddle, you're just going to have to plane because they run so low to the ground. One little puddle, you're just going to see them flip around, spin around on the spot. But luckily, because of the track, you can see it's very undulating. There's not many spots to get puddles. Here's one of them. There won't be many puddles at the moment. Beyond this corner, this apex here, you can sort of see it starting to form just on that curve there. And then you're going to see just a little bit further up, hopefully one of the drivers aren't going to go through it, but when you're in a battle, you sort of forget about puddles and you sort of look in the rearview mirror, as V8 Man will be at the moment. But you might be able to see just on the right hand side here of that curve, which there might be a puddle forming, or I'll tell you very little at the moment. But that's really the only place you're going to have puddles that are going to affect the drivers. You're going to have also, or as V8 Man has a spin and
oh my goodness gracious me. Well, I tell you what, we mentioned Nige Guns, who was, well, we said he should take it easy, but I tell you what, he's currently in a net, what's that, P3, so even with a 20-second penalty, Nige getting used to these wet conditions a lot quicker than V8 Man 51. Not the end of the world for V8 Man 51. He just needs to think about his championship now, doesn't he, Jason? As Raphael joins us on the stream. V8 Man, you're not getting through there despite his immense talent. And, well, Aaron Clover says, yes, V8 Man, keep it up. And his man is fighting tooth and nail. They're side by side again. My goodness gracious me. As they come through the Coca-Cola corner now. We've got him back again. Nige Guns, only his third race. He won last week at Sugo. Must be something in his sushi, something in his rice. Because, let me tell you, since he's come to Japan and landed here in Japan, he has been racing magnificently. As we've got a few more battles going through the order there, Jace.
Someone up the top.
And what's happening there? Can't do 10th sub GT racer. That battle at the front still looking rather tasty. 5th and 4th. Fubbles and Womp also very close. Fubbles and Womp on my screen, but it's all about this lead battle and the championship.
Starting to get a little bit bigger. They've got times 2 weather.
They've got a
race, so that's why it's got a big downpour. If you see to the right, is there a puddle forming yet? You can see it just on the exit of that curve, the exit of that curve there. So give it another 2 or 3 laps, and it's going to get.
Here we go.
Going to get very, very wet.
Here we go. Up to 3rd gear. Have a look at that on the right of your screen. 4th gear up into 5th. Nige Guns currently in P2. Can he get a slipstream on V8 Man? Look at the spray. This is incredible. And in conditions such as these, you need to be out front. Otherwise, you won't be able to see a thing. Nige Guns, is he going to risk it down the inside? No, he slows down. V8 Man.
You can take the wide line. It's going to be a little more grippy. As you'll see, that's the second line, as the F1 boys would call it. Always comes into that grip.
Big hello to Raphael Potoki. He says hi. Big hello to you. Thanks for joining us on the stream tonight. Look at this, lap 11 out of 20. Those clouds are getting darker than darker than this commentary box. Flick the light on. He knew where I was going with that. It's after 9:30 nearly. We're running a bit behind schedule anyway. As Murray Walker would say, half the race gone and half still to go. Here we go. Nige Guns now down the inside. Look at that. He's weaving from one side to the next. V8 Man and Nige Guns. The battle continues. Very careful of the puddles now coming into this up to turn 10 Dunlop corner. V8 Man, lock the rears. Can Nige Guns do the switcheroo and go down the inside? No, he's going to follow him.
Very cautious there, Nige, which is good.
Turns 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You get the idea what I'm trying to do here. Look at this. Avoid those puddles. Our man Jason saying they are absolutely deadly. Apologies for the audio quality. If it's look at this. Here we go. Steer clear of those. I tell you what, they're getting bigger. They're bigger than a big puddle here in Fuji. As here we go onto the main straight now. Lap 11. This lead battle, first and second in your screen. Give us a wide shot, Wilco, please, because this is an epic battle. There we go across the line. Lap 11 into lap 12. The pressure is immense. The pressure's building. This is what these guys get paid the big money for, Jason.
Yes, you can see, if we remember back to Hockenheim, these two had an awesome battle. So it's good to see that there shows there wasn't just a fluke. They're both very even on pace. Nige being the rookie, as we would call him. With his only, this is his third race compared to the other guys in there. Well, they've done the full season, so you can see he's sort of out of the championship contention. So it's more about just a bit of pride and a bit of just going for the race wins and putting pressure on those guys at the front, which is working at the moment. As you see, he's not pulling away, V8 Man. But, well, as I said, should have let him through. I would have let Nige through.
I can tell you one thing. I spy with my little eye something beginning with Rob, and this battle for the lead is keeping Rob very interested, Jason Wilkinson. You can see that gap there.
Was a 49.6, which
was, I tell you what,
half a second faster than those two at the front.
Half a second. Oh, I tell you what, look at that. How close are they? Nothing between them. Oh, look at that. Look at the rain. Rob, he's getting interested as well in the background. Fourth and fifth, that looks very tasty. Only a couple of seconds too between Grunting Tortoise and HSV. But it's about this lead battle here at the Fuji Speedway. Round 6 of Project Cars 2 GT3. You know the rest of it. All the W's.SupremeRacingLeague.com. Jump on, Jason. Sign up. Get amongst it. We've nearly got a full grid. And I tell you what, no doubt about the reasons why. Because this is the sort of racing we love to see. You said it's about pride, it's about respect, it's about getting in there and finding a gap and showing.
Well, see, Rob's definitely closing in.
Battle plate.
Battle plate, the same.
Alright, tell you what.
Nemo and Righty.
Here's Nemo.
Have a quick look. So we've got that fight at the front there. It's down to 3/10. Oh, it's very close here.
Well, I tell you what, that's less than 3/10. You couldn't put a sheet of paper between those two.
Yeah.
And this...
We've got to go back to them. Still a battle there for the lead.
I tell you what, this is looking good, Jace. I don't know what you think, mate, but lap 13 out of 20, so roughly 7 laps to go in appalling conditions here at the Fuji Speedway in Japan.
Crash.
We've got an accident somewhere through the field. Yep. Oh, well, Nemo, who's giving us some live commentary. What happened?
I locked up and went straight into him and the car dude clobbed me.
Well, I tell you, thanks for that, Kimi Raikkonen.
For 2 seconds.
Bit of a Kimi Raikkonen-like answer there from Nemo. I know he's concentrating. These conditions are pretty awful, but what happened there? Well, I crashed. Thank you, Kimi. A bit like when people ask Kimi, what's the helmet? What do you reckon about your helmet? It protects my head, so... Yes, thank you, Kimi. Anyway, enough about that. Look at this lead battle. Here we go, Nige Guns. The gap, 0.4 of a second. And Jason, you're next to me here in the commentary box. You're sweating. I'm sweating as well. And this is a rather sweaty battle, let me tell you. As here we go, down the main straight now. Oh, is Nige Guns going to have a go, Jason? Talk us through it.
Yeah, again, it seems to be, been watching, he doesn't seem to have the straight line speed compared to V8 Man. As I say that, it looks like he's actually closing in now, so is he going to have a dive? He's looking on the inside. Oh no, he's a very clean guy. As you would have seen in Hockenheim, that you gotta have respect and confidence in the other driver, and these two obviously from their battle at Hockenheim have a lot of that. So
Well, let me tell you,
good racing.
Jace, this man Nige Guns, I love him, not in that kind of way, but in Project Cars sort of way, because it's only his third race. He won last week. Here we go. Oh, he's going down the inside. Let me tell you, he is as clean as a whistle. This man Nige Guns likes nice, clean battles. Sounds a bit like Dominic Toretto off the Fast and Furious movies. It's about respect. To some people, that's more
Yeah,
important.
I'll just sort of cut in here. There is a massive race going on here. Wampa's just pulled it out of the bag. He's up to P4 after those pit stops. Who's our
crash.
official photographer. Here's a crash. If you're talking to the smack down there.
Well, let me just tell you one thing. While we're talking about Womp, fellas, let me just tell you this. Womp has not finished higher than 7th this year, and he's currently in P4. He's 24 seconds off Rob Dog in P3, but can Womp get his first podium of the year? He did not start last week, so he took a leaf out of my book, missed last week, missed the flight to Japan, and I was talking to him on the way over, as we hope this commentator's curse won't affect him here, but I was talking to him on the...
Just in case.
Oh, here we go. Yep, we'll get rid of that. Hopefully he can stay in P4. Here we go. Lap 14 out of 20. Getting into the latter part of this race. Nige Guns. Oh, Max Verstappen style. They're looking to take a different line through the corner. Oh, we've seen the greats do that, haven't we?
Get laps. Hopefully he gets out of the way and doesn't
Nemo.
impact on this battle.
Nemo, get out of the bloody way, son. As here we go, Nige Guns. Fast, quickly becoming my favourite driver. Oh, hope V8 man didn't hear me say that, because this is getting serious now. The floodlights are on here at the Fuji Super Speedway. And that weather, 2 times the weather, 2 times the excitement, 100 times the action. Big hello to everybody out there joining us. 4 viewers now. We cracked into double figures earlier in the evening. We apologise about the late start, but stick with us. Just don't worry about your parents telling you to go to bed, because this last 5 laps is going to be an absolute beauty, Jason Wilkinson.
Yes, he is. I'm just looking through the gaps there. We've got Bubbles, Crouching Tortoise, and HSV just a little bit behind them. So I'll keep an eye on that. At the moment, it's about a second between Bubbles and Tortoise. But I think this battle's going to be a little more exciting. It's about the lead. No, he hasn't. Yeah, focus on the driving, mate, and we'll leave the commentary to us, please. No, I'm kidding. Having a good bit of fun with Nemo. The guy you can have a joke with, which is always good.
Yeah,
yep.
Taken out.
Good to have a sense of humour, but on a serious note, Nemo, you need to focus on what you're doing there. You're a man of many talents. People want Nemo. That's fully understandable. He's a man who can just get things done, but he's currently in P11 at the moment, so he might have to leave that commentary to us. So lap 15 out of 20, this battle. There's a few more down the field there. A couple of seconds between Fubbles, Grunting Tortoise, HSV, Cartoon a bit further back, but Nige Guns. P2 there looking, oh, I tell you what, where is he going to get this move done? Multi-Alex 13 saying, oh, Nemo. Here we go, Nige Guns now. Can he get this done? Down the inside, side by side. They touch, they make contact here. And what an epic battle. Alex, thanks for joining us on the live stream tonight. Grab the bloody popcorn, because you're going to need it here. Lap 16 out of 20. This is going to be amazing as they come up now. They slow for that hairpin, Jason. Oh, I tell you what. Almost contact there. Turn 7, 8, 9. The 100R, we've passed that. Now time for the 300R. Through this famous corner, up to the Dunlop corner. Where is he going to get this move done? And look at those lap times there. Fastest lap being a 1:49.1 for Car2, but the leader's putting in...
That's the last lap. That's the last lap.
Last lap, I beg your pardon. Fastest lap, of course. What am I talking about, Jace? Jeez, I tell you what.
Nige Guns was the 40.3.
And I think that's going to stay the fastest lap. Yep.
Yeah, it's not gonna improve.
That's not going to
I want
change.
to cut down to Nemo for a sec. Is the weather getting any better, or is it getting just steady rain still?
No comment.
No comment. Okay. Thanks for helping out the stream. Back to Nine Guns battle.
I'm just out here drifting having fun.
Yes, thanks. Big thanks to Nemo with the Kimi Raikkonen like answers. Nige Guns, I beg your pardon. Here we go.
I reckon it's getting worse and worse as the race goes on.
Okay, cool.
Oh, they're going to be side by side. Look at this battle. So all is fair in love and war. There's not going to be too much love lost between these two. We saw that famous battle at Hockenheim as it almost is getting dark here at Fuji. No one's going to do the Nicky Lauda, are they, and come into the pits and say it's too dangerous? I don't think so. As they come in now through the Coca-Cola corner, approaching turn number 4, and then through the 100R. Oh, they're side by side. Again with Mount Fuji in the background. This sets up. Oh, here we go. V8 man runs a little bit wide. Nige Guns is on the inside. They're side by side yet again. Only inches between them.
Need to switch. Yeah,
the outside. They're going to do the switch here, Jason. The outside quickly becomes the inside as they approach the Dunlop corner. Turn 10. I don't reckon they're going to get it done here through this little fiddly section. Turns 10.
Puddle starting to form on those apex there.
Turn 11, 12, very dangerous. So here we go, coming up now to turn 13 and 14, 15, the next
Quick
corner.
look at that puddle on the right here. Let's see how big he is. Oh, he's gone wide there, man. Have a look at this puddle.
What an epic battle this is going to be. All that puddle's getting bigger. And I reckon V8 Man's eyes are getting bigger because here comes Nige Guns, the man who's come from nowhere. Just his 3rd race. It's hard to believe, isn't it, fellas, when you just think of what he's achieved. In his first race, where was he? Where did he finish? 4th and then 1st. He won last week. As he's getting...
again, just while there's a little bit of a gap here, let's have a look who just jumped up to P5. It's HSV. He was down in P8 about 2 or 3 laps ago, so those guys in front must have made a mistake. You can see Fubbles' lap was 1:56 and Forrest was a 2-minute lap, so
well,
slow there by them too. So maybe something happened we didn't see, but Nemo did say there was a big battle down the front straight. So.
HSV's been the quiet achiever in this race. He's got. There's been contact between another 2 drivers, but big hello there. Classic Fuji, wet as fudge, says Elmer Jacko. Great to have you with us. And I'll tell you what about Multi-Alex 13? Alex Adams there joining us, and he's watching. He's a bloody terrific man, Patch Adams. Well, don't we love him there? Oh my goodness me! Enough about Patch Adams and HSV, the 2 New South Welshmen. Here we go, Nige Guns down the inside.
Yeah, man, just later on the brakes.
Oh my goodness me! It's going to be the last of the late breakers.
I wonder if the Outman knows he got a friendly, because he's fighting bloody hard. It looks like we'll just smoke him off the car then, but...
I can see that Nige has 20 seconds on my screen.
Okay,
so,
well hopefully, the Outman knows that. Maybe he just wants to have a bit of a battle for the stream. Oh, he's getting contact. At the moment, Nige is going to finish 3rd.
Well, I can tell you one thing. He's got a 20-second penalty, but he does not worry about that at all, because he wants to give everybody at home watching this stream as much entertainment in the remaining 2 laps as possible. Danny Rocks also good enough to join us. This is great, and I've got to say I agree with you here. Here we go, Nemo, let us do the commentary, otherwise you may not be returning next week to the commentary box. Yep.
I can see the battle though, I'm watching it.
It had to be said. Alright, here we go. Oh my goodness me, V8 Man gets it slightly wrong into turn 1 and then out of turn 1. Coming through turn 2, yet again, Nige Guns on the outside.
Don't make contact.
They make, they tell you what, they're getting awfully close. Here we go, V8 Man, I reckon Nige has got it. Yes, he has. Nige Guns takes the lead here at Fuji. Round 6 of the GT3 SRL Project Cars 2 League. He won last week, and he's I tell you what, he's not going to win this week, of course, with that penalty, but he could still get to P3. But what a battle here. And lap 19 out of 20. It's Nige Guns now leading, well, he's got a net, what's that, second or third, I think, after that penalty. But never mind about that. It's all about the on-track action as Nige Guns now. I tell you what, commentators curse almost there. You give him a wrap.
He's very close.
You give him a wrap and they're going to let you down every time. Rob Dog there in third. He's still interested. Only 2.5 seconds behind this battle now. Behind this lead battle now. I tell you what, V8 man, he needs to think about his championship as well. Currently in P2 in the championship. And, well, what a battle we have seen here at the Fuji circuit in Japan. And we've had a traditional Japanese race, haven't we? We've had everything. We've had the rain, we've had the sun, all in the shadow. Dark here now at Fuji. Lap 19 out of 20. Just 7 tenths now between V8 Man and Nige. But I reckon V8 Man, he's just going to slot into second place. And he might settle for second, knowing that he's got the victory. No matter what happens here.
Yeah, man, so late on the break. He's a very, very good driver. He can get same as his teammate Forman Rocks, who unfortunately he's going to lose the championship lead with that disconnect he had.
Never something.
Pretty big.
It's going to be a huge gap. I tell you what, using the F1 style point system in this championship. So if you do get a DNF, boy, do you suffer, Jason, don't you? If you don't finish the race, disconnect, do not start, all of the above. But here we go, lap 20, final lap of this race. We've got Nigel after an epic battle between the two of them in P1. V8 Man in atrocious conditions in P2, but of course it's a net P1 for V8 Man. Rob Dog in second, looking for possibly what might be his best result of the season. After, well, he's only had a 6th place. That's his best finish of the season as we ride on board with Womp there, who's currently in P4. Speaking of best performances of the season, Womp there in P4. Let's bring Womp home, everybody, because his best finish before this was 7th. And HSV, the silent achiever, he snuck in for a point last week in Sugo, and he'll be taking home, what's that, 10 points or something? I think, if I'm not mistaken, for 5th place. As here we go, the last lap of this race.
Ooh.
Here they come.
I thought that was Rob Dog versus his teammate.
Across the line, lap 20, the final lap here at Fuji. It's Nige Guns crossing the line to win the race, but of course, it'll only be short-lived because V8 Man 51 is going to take that off of him. Rob Dog in third, his best performance of the season. And the battles continue further down the field, but Womp, I reckon he's going to finish in P4. A magnificent result for the Porsche driver, along with HSV. I tell you what, we're recording personal bests for the season everywhere. 3rd, 4th, 5th. All doing a great job there. Currently watching Womp. The race is coming through there.
Wants to see Womp. He's a very good photographer. I think he must pay someone because he gets photos from this race and puts them up on the SRL website. So you want to check them out, just do it on www.supremeracingleague.com. Go into Project Cars Leagues, and then go into round 4 and round 5 at Hockenheim and Sugo, and then eventually this round here, and you'll see some awesome shots he's taken.
All the W's, they are great shots, let me tell you about that. Jump on allthews.supremeracingleague.com. Great to have everyone joining us tonight, also on the live stream. Aaron, Javid, Alex, Jacko, Danny, every one of them, Raphael, big hello. We've got people joining us from right across Australia, right across the world. As was that a cameo appearance by one of the Ferraris there? Just every day I'm jumping. Here we go.
Jump on board actually. But
well, the race 2-1. We are done here at the wet, foggy, misty Fuji Speedway. And the final results on your screen. It is V8 Man in P1 from Rob Dog in P2. Nige Guns, he won last week but only could get P3 this week. Womp in 4th. His best result of the season, same for HSV in 5th, Bubbles in 6th, Grunting Tortoise in 7th, Cart Dude in 8th, 9th for Sub GT, and Righty rounding out your points finishes with P10. But what a race, what a battle between those two up front. Nige Guns in the end collecting a net 3rd place. Big thanks as well to the comments coming in on the live stream. Don't forget to stick with us because we will be talking, hopefully, Jason, to our podium finishes.
Yes,
and
I just invited the race winner.
Yep, we're going to invite these guys in. So if you're watching this live stream, stick with us out there in YouTube live streaming land here on SRL Project Cars 2 GT3. This championship is getting very, very tasty indeed. And, well, we're going to just wait for our podium finishers to join us in the commentary box for some questions and some insight into that race. And I reckon they're going to have plenty to say. We had Nemo, our man, reporting live from the circuit as the conditions got worse and worse. A few comments, Mia there. Good race, boys. Robbie, Rob Dog, damn wheel nuts. Well, we saw people struggle.
That's what happened.
We saw people struggle
out.
coming into the pit lane. Well, I tell you what, Jason, what did you think of that race? I mean, changeable conditions. It had everything, didn't it?
Well, here we go. Well, we'll talk to the race winner. Man, how was that race, mate?
Very, very tough.
Well...
Did you know that Nige Guns had a 20-second penalty?
Yeah, I did from the start, because it was jump start.
Yeah. I was screaming just to let him go through so you didn't get caught up in an incident, but he's pretty clean, so that was right.
He is. Yeah, exactly. It was a bit quicker than me. I think my settings were a bit optimal for weather.
He was a little
conditions.
bit slow in the straight line, so I think that's what you mean by just running a lower downforce.
Yeah, exactly right.
Now, I've just got a question, V8 Man, while we wait for our other podium finishers to join us, mate. Yep, old Simba getting up and about there. Now, let me tell. I've just got a quick question for you, V8 Man. What a race that was. First of all, congratulations. You came into this race with a 12-point deficit in the Drivers' Championship behind Formula One Rocks, and you walk away with a 13-point lead as we head back across the world to the next round in Belgium. How are you feeling now? 13 points, 2 rounds to go. Is it your championship to lose?
Yes, it is. Considering how quick F1 Rocks is and the people behind, it's could be anyone's championship really. Top 3 drivers or top 4 drivers could still get it.
Well, mate, well done tonight, and all the best for next week. Now, well, someone else has joined us there, Jace. Who was that?
Rob Dog.
Rob Dog.
P2. Could have been P1, but how
you going, guys? We all good?
It's good.
Well, we're not as good as you are, Rob Dog, because we mentioned it during the race tonight there. P6 before tonight was your best finish, mate. First podium of the season. You started with a dominant pole position. Tell us a little bit about your race tonight.
Well, just off the bat, the well done V8 man. That was a great drive.
Thanks,
it was just unfortunate I had that wheel nut issue. It's good to try a new car with the BMW. It's been very, very quick over the last few rounds. I just haven't been able to string the results together with running out of fuel last week and issues the other week. But the car was really good tonight. It was handling nice.
Straight line speed and a bit quick, isn't it?
It is very, very... I mean, that's what you get with the twin-turbo V8. You don't get that from a 6-mate. Maybe a Barra, but that's about it. It was really good. It was really hooked up like it's been the last few races. I just had a bit of bad luck, and that's what happens. But, boy, it was a really, really fun race. And some of the best races you have are the ones you don't win. So I'm really, really happy with tonight, and congratulations to V8. You know, it was a fantastic race.
And Rob, I'll cut in there. Fantastic result. Your fans obviously going crazy in the background there for their man.
Simba for you, mate.
And or is that bloody Simba or Simba? Someone give Simba a smacko for us while we do these podium interviews. Rob, just one final question before we head to Belgium next week for the Grand Prix in Zolder. 2 rounds left in the season, mate. A result like this and in these conditions has to give you a lot of confidence heading into the final 2 rounds.
Yeah, I think I've been sim racing for a while. You know, you can have a great result one week and a terrible result the next week. You got to keep a level head. Is it definitely a good result? Take it away. But anything can happen. It's motorsport. It's gaming. You know, anything happens.
No doubt about that, mate. Thanks very much for joining us post-race after a pretty hectic race, and all the best for next week.
Cheers, mate.
Well, I tell you what, we haven't got Nige Guns, our P3 finisher.
Yeah, he doesn't have a mic, unfortunately.
He doesn't have a microphone. Well,
The next guest is P4, and what a race by Womp. How you going, mate?
Womp! Well, what a race, Womp. Coming into this race tonight, we mentioned it in commentary. You got plenty of airtime for the Porsche sponsors as well, I've got to admit, because coming into tonight's race, mate, you had not finished any higher than P7, but now P4 just ever so close to that first podium. Tell us a bit about that race, and how did you remain that consistent throughout the 20 laps of Fuji?
Don't be hard on yourself, mate.
And it was a hectic start too, Womp. I mean, did you just manage to keep your head down and make your way through that carnage early on in the race? And I guess that's something you need to do, isn't it, in those sort of conditions? Oh, well, we're getting word through that Womp's voice isn't shared, so I'll something for the share. I tell you what, those dreaded sharing and broadcast settings have caught us out again.
We'll jump in the party. And then just go to party settings.
Yep, we'll get this sorted out.
The second last line, you got allow your voice to be shared. Make that to always allowed.
I'd love Kid to maybe cover some Ray Charles or something.
There we go, done it.
Well, I tell you what, Dean McKinnon's been good enough to join us. Stick with us on the live stream tonight. His voice isn't being shared, but we are going to work on it. Just to recap, I can do a bit of a translation for you for everyone still sticking with this stream.
Hang on. I can fix that. Hang on.
Watching at home. Goodness me. Hide your sons and daughters because Dean's here. This is going to be interesting.
I've got to allow my voice.
Especially the sons.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I'm good now.
Well,
yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine, Dean. You can go. P5, mate. Good job.
Top 5 boys with like what? Less than 10 laps of practice.
Must be your race engineer. Must be a pretty good one.
I only lost about 10 seconds. I lost. Oh, you know that puddle we were talking about on the second last corner?
Yep.
I was watching Tortoise every lap and he ran a bit wide and I'm like, and then bye.
Well, Dean...
Yeah, we were saying you gotta watch that.
Dean, you've got to be happy with that, mate. Second race out, P10 last week, P5 this week. And I tell you what, we followed you, mate. You were the quiet achiever during that race. You just slowly worked your way back up the field. What happened early on in the race, though, mate? You ran into some trouble there early on.
Certain driver in a yellow-coloured Renault might have been to blame.
Yeah, there was everything going there. There was yellow cars flying left, right, and centre.
I was on the grass on lap 1.
Well, maybe there was a place to be, not on the track.
So I tell you what, though, awesome result, Womp. Good on you, man.
Yeah.
From near the back of the grid.
Porsche 4.5. Very good.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Before you go. Oh, here we go, Dean. I tell you what. Well, these.
Brody was getting wiped, but sorry, Trevor.
Go for it.
Brody was getting really angry because when me and Womp were with him near the start, he had no straight line speed compared to us. We were just blasting off.
Yeah, I was saying that.
Well, these podium interviews, Dean, congratulations. Second race out, P5, great performance tonight, and all the best for next week.
I wouldn't call that a podium. If 5's a podium, then that's good.
P5. Well, these are meant to be
for the Porsche.
These are meant to be podium interviews, despite the fact these are meant to be the actual podium finishes. Nige Guns is all out of luck, unfortunately. If you haven't got a mic in this game, you're no good to us. P4's joined us. P5's joined us. The bloody stream comments are going mad because everybody wants Grunting Tortoise to join us, but I reckon we might have to wrap up here. The Formula 1 races have a 2-hour limit, don't they, I think? So we started at 8 and we're coming up to 10 o'clock. Jason needs to go and feed Simba in the background there. Throw a couple of smackos over to him to tide him over. Because we've got to let everybody go home to their families, Jason. And thank you for joining us, Jace. You're filling in for GT. Back this week.
I'll be back next week. Yeah, I'll be back next week.
Back.
In other news, the Broncos just got belted by St George. So.
Yep.
We won't talk about
Yep.
crap, Dino.
Yep. So, the main commentator and the co-commentator, both Victorian. Anyway, never mind about that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for tonight's live stream. We do apologise to everybody out there. We were running a bit behind schedule, but big thanks to Mia, Alex, Jacko, Danny, Robbie, everyone else who's been good enough to join us. And Mia
I got a shout out. I got a shout out. Yes.
Shout outs to everybody. Don't forget to join us next week. Like I mentioned, if you want to get involved in this magnificent championship, head over to allthews.supremeracingleague.com.au or just .com. Drop the AU to get involved. Head over to the SRL PS4 Project Cars 2 League. If you want to get involved in the last 2 rounds, we've got Belgium and Bathurst, the famous Mount Panorama, to finish off the season. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Woohoo.